I saw with my own eyes my female colleague sleeping with the boss for a promotion. The next day, she became my supervisor. Not only did she take the $3 million bonus from my project, she also tried to force me out of the company. But I could only laugh, because it meant she would bear all the responsibility for the project. It was the company's year-end celebration. Everyone was celebrating the success of the Sky Peak project. I walked on stage to speak. Our director, Susan, suddenly grabbed the microphone from my hand. With a smile, she removed my name from the slide titled Project Leader and replaced it with her own.
Let's clear this up. Ethan was just my errand guy. The core system architecture, I built that myself, night after night. You're still young, Ethan. Opportunities? Tons ahead. As for this promotion and the $1 million bonus, all mine.
She looked at me with open provocation. Some people whispered that Susan was shameless. Others laughed at how weak I looked. I didn't argue. I didn't make a scene. I simply stepped back and handed her a document. Right, Susan. The reward for good work is more work. And the final sign-up should be yours. Susan grinned and took the project liability form. She signed her name without even reading it. After the celebration ended, Susan stormed into my office with a group of people.
Ethan, if you're just a runner, you don't deserve a private office.
People grabbed my stuff and tossed it into boxes. I just watched.
See that empty desk in the corner? Fast internet, nice spot. Go sit. Not like you've got real work, anyway.
My things were tossed straight into the trash. Susan, isn't this a bit too much? She laughed and poked my chest with her finger.
Too much? That's how things work here. You've got no connections, no backup. What'd you expect?
Right then, notification sounds echoed across the office. A company-wide email had arrived. All credit for the Sky Peak project went to Susan. $1 million bonus. A nomination for vice president. The same colleagues who just pitied me were suddenly fiending about her.
Congrats, Susan! You totally earned it!
Only you could handle this project. Ethan? Nah, no way he could.
Everyone surrounded her, handing her water, massaging her shoulders. They praised her while mocking me. Susan glanced at me and smiled smugly.
Afternoon drinks are on me today. Everyone's invited.
Then she walked to my desk and slammed a cup of hot water onto it. The water splashed and burned the back of my hand.
Here, Ethan. Drink it. Chill. Don't be jealous.
The office burst into laughter, but I said nothing. I just wiped the water off my hand. I pulled out my phone and sent $200 via Venmo to the team chat. Message read, "Congrats, Susan. Future VP vibes. Legendary move." Everyone scrambled to claim it, tapping the link like crazy.
Wow, generous.
Thanks, Ethan.
Susan looked at her phone and smirked.
At least you finally understand how things work. Keep quiet, do your job. You'll have your slice.
I nodded quickly with a flattering smile. Thanks, Susan. Here's the final handover list. All the tech details are in. Just sign here. I handed her the thick document. Overwhelmed by the joy of promotion, she signed her name without thinking twice.
Don't drag me into petty stuff. I've got big decisions to make now.
I stared at her signature. A ghost of a smile touched my lips. This wasn't a normal handoffer. It made Susan lowly responsible. Any crash, any bug, she'd take the fall. Susan's victory lasted less than 2 days. Trouble arrived. The client company sent an urgent email. They demanded an additional stress test, and they asked the project lead to demonstrate it. Susan stared at the screen, full of red error codes. Her eyes widened. The truth was simple. She didn't understand code at all. She didn't even know how to open the system terminal. Soon she rushed to the corner desk where I now worked.
Ethan, write an automatic demo script for me. Now!
Her tone was still arrogant, acting like she didn't just humiliate me 2 days ago. I kept typing without looking up. I'd help if I could, Susan, but you stripped me of core access already. Guess I'm just the office errand guy now. Susan panicked and slammed her hand onto my keyboard.
Cut the crap! I'll restore your permissions. If you can't handle this, you're out.
My colleagues nearby turned to watch. They were waiting for me to embarrass myself. I pretended to tremble slightly. Please, don't fire me. I've got a mortgage and my parents to take care of. Seeing that her threat worked, Susan relaxed. She took 2 thick stacks of cash from her bag and tossed them onto my desk.
20 grand. Write the script, it's yours. Mess it up, you're out.
I stared at the money and swallowed. Then I pretended my hands were shaking.
Okay. Thank you, Susan. I'll write it now.
With the temporary permissions restored, I quickly wrote the demo script. Deep in the code, I hid a little surprise for her, an Easter egg that would trigger at exactly the right moment. Susan demonstrated the script successfully during the department meeting. The system ran smoothly on the big screen. The boss nodded repeatedly.
Impressive, Susan. You're truly a genius.
Susan beamed with pride as everyone praised her. After the meeting ended, she returned with a group of followers. They immediately took the $20,000 back from my desk. Then she brought people from the IT department. They wiped my computer.
Ethan, it's not about trust, but company rules. We have to be careful. All backups and logs are deleted. This is the company's core secret.
She stared at me as if I'd already outlived my usefulness.
As for that money, I'll log it. Yours at the end of the year.
Then she clicked away in her heels, not a single glance back. I stared at the empty screen. Funny. I almost laughed. Go on. Delete it all. The cleaner, the better. Her last lifeline. She sealed her own fate. And now, not even God could save her. The day Susan received her $1 million bonus, she bought a red Porsche. She deliberately parked it right in front of the company entrance, in the most visible spot she could find, making sure everyone saw it. Then she spent half an hour posing beside the car. Later, she posted the photos online. One showed the Porsche steering wheel. Another showed her Hermes bag. She even included a photo of the project's final approval page. Her caption read, "Heavy is the crown, but someone has to wear it. Every late night was worth it." The comments filled up fast. Cower workers lined up to praise her like loyal lapdogs. When I saw the post, I was in the break room eating instant noodles. The whole place smelled like beef ramen. A coworker nearby was touching up her makeup while talking loudly.
Some people are just born to be employees. Look at Susan. She's a real queen. That's what a winner looks like.
Another coworker chupped in.
If you don't have the talent, don't blame others for taking the credit. Yeah. The corporate world is cutthroaty. If you lose, you're out.
The moment things turned against me, everyone switched sides. The same people who used to slap my back, call me Ethan, my man, and mooch free lunches off me, now they were stepping all over me just to suck up to Susan. Right then, the boss's secretary rushed into the break room. She announced a major piece of news.
Next Monday, the chairman from headquarters is coming for an inspection. He wants to see the Sky Peak project's live performance data.
The whole company buzzed with excitement. The chairman from headquarters was the real power. One word from him could determine the future of the entire branch. When Susan heard the news, her face flushed with excitement. She almost spilled the coffee in her hand. To prove how hands-on she was, she immediately refused any help from the tech team.
Don't worry about it.
Susan said with a confident smile.
I've been driving this project from day one. No one understands it better than I do. I'll run the demo myself.
She straightened her jacket, already savoring the moment.
Let headquarters see what real leadership looks like.
Later, she ran into me in the break room. She stopped and waved a hand in front of her nose as if something smelled bad.
God, that cheap smell.
She said with obvious disgust.
Instant noodles again, Ethan?
She glanced around the room with a smug smile.
Take a good look. The project's doing just fine without you. At the end of the day, you're just a pair of hands. Completely replaceable.
She looked down at my bowl of noodles with open contempt. I quietly slurped another mouthful. Then I finished the soup completely, not a drop left. I looked up and forced a humble smile.
Susan, you're absolutely right. I'm just here to do the grunt work. You're the real queen. Hope your presentation next week goes smoothly. Wishing you all the success. And maybe keep me in mind once in a while.
Susan nodded and turned away.
Glad you know your place.
Her high heels clicked sharply on the floor. That night, my phone buzzed in the dark, the screen cutting through the quiet. It was a voice message from Susan. Her tone was sharp and commanding.
Have a speech ready for me by tomorrow morning. Make sure it emphasizes my innovation. All the nights I stayed up solving problems. Skip the boring technical details. Make it sound impressive, high level. And if it's subpar, you'll be looking at your termination letter. Don't expect me to go easy.
I listened, a faint smile tugging at the corner of my lip. Then I tapped the screen and replied with a single word, noted. The day before the inspection, just before the end of the workday, Susan appeared at my desk, flanked by the HR manager. She held a printed document in her hand.
Ethan Carter, records show you've been slacking and dragging down the team. You've created a toxic atmosphere.
She tossed a resignation agreement at me. The paper's edge scraped my cheek.
Sign it. Now, then clear out. Your stuff's already packed.
The office fell completely silent. No one dared to speak for me. I could even hear people breathing. I looked at Susan's twisted face. She practically radiated excitement. But I saw it clearly. She wanted me gone. Completely. Tomorrow was the chairman's inspection. She feared I'd speak out. Feared I'd steal the spotlight. Or reveal her as a fraud. She needed me out. Before tomorrow.
Susan, do you really have to go this far? I just finished your speech yesterday.
I picked up the agreement from the floor, my voice shaking. My eyes stung red. Susan crossed her arms, a cold sneer on her lips.
Cut the act. I know exactly what you're thinking. You're a ticking time bomb. Sign it, or I call security and have you out. Don't make this messy.
I took a deep breath. Then I picked up the pen and signed it without another word. Fine. I'll go. While I packed my things, I deliberately placed a black USB pad on top of the box. This has the final project files and the encryption keys. Everything's in there. Don't lose it. Susan snatched the drive, plugged it into her computer, and started scanning the folders. When she saw that all the files were intact, she let out a satisfied sigh. A triumphant smile spread across her face, thinking she had the upper hand.
Good. At least you know your place. And don't let me see you in this industry again.
I carried my box and walked toward the elevator. Everyone watched in silence. I probably looked pathetic from behind. When I passed Susan's desk, I suddenly stopped. She was busy directing people to test the presentation. The USB drive was connected to the conference room screen. Her PowerPoint slides filled the large display. She looked incredibly confident. I leaned closer and lowered my voice. Only the two of us could hear it.
Susan, just a friendly reminder. The license for the core algorithm, it expires tonight at midnight. Make sure you renew it.
Susan didn't even turn around. She rolled her eyes with complete contempt.
Cut the tech scare tactics. The project's done. Expiration date? Give me a break. Do you think I'm stupid? Trying to scam me? Get out. I'm already annoyed hearing your voice.
I shrugged and said nothing more, stepping into the elevator. The cold wind hit my face the moment I walked out of the building. And yet, I felt a rush of relief, almost giddy. I pulled out my phone. A red countdown button glowed on the screen. The remote control for the Sky Peak trial system. I glanced back at the office, all lit up and oblivious. A slow smile spread across my face. Susan, since you wanted this project so badly, I'm about to give you a gift you'll never forget. I pressed the red button, remote deactivation. A message blinked, command sent. Core modules will self-destruct in 12 hours. Tomorrow at 9 a.m., the chairman would walk in, and so would Susan's career, straight off a cliff. She loved stealing credit, loved the spotlight. I'd make sure she never saw it again. Inspection day. A 15-foot red carpet rolled out in front of the company. Fresh flowers lined the entrance. Even the security guards were wearing brand new uniforms. Susan showed up in a borrowed designer gown. She even hired a personal makeup artist to follow her around. The scene looked less like a company inspection, more like the Oscars. She stood at the entrance, smiling brightly. She bent in half to open the CEO's car door herself. The CEO entered the conference room, flanked by executives. Susan strutted onto the stage in high heels, every step loud and deliberate. She launched into her presentation with all the drama of a Broadway show, and then she began telling the story of how she overcame every obstacle.
For this project, I pulled 3 straight all-nighters. I even lost a chunk of hair from the stress. My boyfriend dumped me, and I was too busy to care.
She blinked slowly, letting a couple of perfectly timed tears slide down. Dabbed them delicately with a tissue, careful not to smudge her makeup. Her voice quivered just enough to sell it, like a seasoned actress accepting an award.
Yes, it was grueling, but we made it! But the moment this project was finished, I knew every sacrifice had been worth it. For this company, I would give everything I have.
The admin girls in the audience were already dabbing at their eyes. They clapped so hard their palms flushed red.
The CEO nodded again and again, clearly impressed. He leaned toward his secretary, voice low but full of approval.
Not many young people show this kind of drive anymore. She deserves recognition. That VP role, she's perfect for it. That was basically a public announcement. The VP spot was hers. Susan caught it and tried to keep her composure, but her smile kept creeping higher. But the client representative was a hardcore tech guy. Nice slides, Mrs. Susan. He pushed his glasses up and interrupted coldly, but we'd like to see a live demo on the real-time dashboard. Pretty words are cheap. Stable algorithms, that's what counts. Algorithms don't lie. Susan switched screens confidently. The laser point spun in her fingers, the red dot dancing across the display.
No problem. Our system stability is top tier in the industry. It can handle any test. Please check it out.
The system loaded flawlessly. The progress bar shot to 100% in seconds. Green indicators blinked across the dashboard like a heart. Susan turned toward the CEO with a confident, "We've got this" look. Her smug grin screamed victory and bonus checks. The charts on the screen erupted in motion, red and green lines twisting together like high-tech fireworks. She jabbed a finger at the screen, chest puffed out with pride.
This is our proprietary AI engine. It automatically balances workloads and processes hundreds of millions of data points.
Susan threw her arms wide, basking in the applause flooding the room. Meanwhile, I sat across the street in a quiet cafe, watching the live feed on my phone. The corner of my mouth curled. I began counting. 3, 2, 1. Ding. A massive red warning box suddenly erupted in the center of the screen. A shrill alarm pierced the room, making everyone jump. Severe warning. Trial version expired.